Yo, what up? So, I know this channel is pretty damn fucking wacky with just however many random ideas come into my head. I kind of just either put them on here or I don't. And this one is definitely going to be one of the weirder ones, I feel, because yikes. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. Not that I haven't. I've talked about it with some close friends before and just in my own brain, clearly. But I feel so strongly about it that I feel I have to talk about it, like, now. So I'm gonna do that. So, you may have heard about a little game called, Minecraft. I mean, who the fuck hasn't at this point? I. it is wild how big this game got, and how big it's been throughout all of time right now. Like, think of a time where this game wasn't at least, like, extremely well known and popular. You can't unless it just wasn't out yet, but I think it came out in like 1893, so this game's been around for like fucking decades. But even so, there's been always like back and forth talk about whether the game was better at this time or better at this time, or had better things, or like some people preferred the old Nether over the newer Nether. And it's like all of that shit does not matter because a lot of the new shit was very good. I will admit that. Very good. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is the fucking regression. The fucking down, just overall blech the game is going into. And I don't like it. And for some reason, a lot of games are just going downhill. Some are still standing pretty strong. Like, I'm not an avid player, but Fortnite's still doing quite well, and Overwatch definitely came back into its own, and yeah, a few others, but those are like free to play games, like shooter games as well. And they have their own slew of like, give us money or we'll kill you kind of problems. But Minecraft's a bit different. This game is fucking everywhere. You could play this game on anything. Like you find your fucking old PSP, PS Vita, old like Nintendo 3DS. You could play fucking Minecraft on anything. It is wild. So what's my problem with this? It's not about how accessible the game is. That's really cool. I find that sick. But getting around to the actual point, I don't like what they are doing with the game in many of the recent updates. And this isn't just because of nostalgia bait or just how I'm like, oh, old Minecraft better because it's how I like it because that's what I played when I was a youngin'. No, none of that dumb shit. And I think the most recent mob vote has definitely brought a lot more people to my side of the argument. I wish I would have said a lot of this way earlier on the internet just so I could have a point of being like, I've thought this for much longer than most people. So now I just seem like jumping on the bandwagon and everything, but I, I hope you can believe me in saying that I have fucking hated this game for a while. And not to the point where I think the game is terrible. I don't think it's a bad game. I just think the direction they're going with it is a direction I fucking despise. So, here's what I mean. With the mob votes, if you don't already know, they are a way of the devs asking, what mob do you want to see into the game? And mobs are just the general enemies, creatures, things you'll see. And they give you three options, and the community votes on their favorite. And that one gets in. They get into the game, and the other two are scrapped. And right off the bat, this is a bit of a weird thing. I think it's a neat idea to have like a vote on something, but why scrap these ideas that you clearly have like the ideas and assets and they're already basically implemented, but they just don't put them in because people voted for something else. And with one of the first mob votes, if not the first, we already saw pretty glaring issue when Dickhead McGee, Dream Minecraft, fucking wrote on Twitter that he wanted to see the glow squid into the game, which was arguably one of the least interesting of the three. And because of his high internet presence and how at the time he was fucking hot shit, it's not to say that he isn't in some ways, but probably not the best of ways right now. I'm not going to get into that, but let's just say Glow Squid won, but mainly because Buddy Boy said he wanted it in the game, and then later admitted that it was kind of a joke, but, you know, his community voted for it anyway because he said he wanted it, but, you know. That's the power some people have that they don't realize, which I don't think young people should have that kind of power ever. So, you know, it may seem like nothing much because it's just a dumb block game and some buddy boy who has 1,000,000 subscribers just said he wanted a thing in it. But I do think that's also another big issue is that many creators are getting very big very quickly. And that's another topic for a completely different time, but I think that's pretty scary as well. But the mob vote definitely started a trend where things just didn't really, you know, it's really hard to describe just how disappointing it is. Many of the creatures they have added are very cool and very interesting. It's just there's so many other things they could add. And there's been so many people that have like explained that they could just add them. There's literally no reason for them not to. It's just that they don't. It's baffling because Minecraft is one of the, if not the biggest game ever. It's nuts. And so they're also ran by Microsoft, which is one of the biggest companies ever. And clearly they have some people working on this game. It's not like it's two people in a basement being like, oh shit. But the fact is, you know, modders have been able to do such amazing and creative and cool things. But when the actual developers of the real ass game aren't doing as interesting things, that's a bit telling. That is a bit telling. It's very disappointing. And that's just the beginning. Let me tell you what, that is just the beginning, because with many of the updates, they're focusing so much more on vanity over quality. They make the game look really cool. Like, they've added so many cool things that look great, but functionality-wise, they add nothing. They just add nothing to the game. Remember Copper? No, you fucking don't, because it does nothing. You see that in caves and you just don't take it because it doesn't help you at all. It's nuts. People were so excited to have a new ore added to the official game because so many mods have added like unique ores, unique items, unique things that could like change the way you progress or allow you to have other options. Copper does nothing like that. It's purely for vanity. And you can make the argument that there's a couple things it can do, but are any of those things immediately helpful? No. You're gonna tell me you want copper over like fucking iron or coal in this game? What? No. No, you don't. It just fills your inventory. You're just like, ugh. And so and then we move on to the deep dark. Let's talk about that because, whoo boy, what a cool concept that just kind of fell flat. Like, they add this whole new extra thing that can happen in your game, this whole new, like, boss mob that is insanely powerful, but what do you get out of it? It's nothing. You get nothing. Nothing towards progression, nothing unique that can help you do things or give you a unique edge. So there's no reason to fight the new mob at all. Like, no reason. There's no reason to even interact with it. Because if you do, it's just gonna kill you. You're just dead. Because it's insanely overpowered. There's no reward, there's no feeling of satisfaction, because another one will just spawn right after. But what? That's like the equivalent of getting to like the final boss in a game, killing it, and just having the game be like, you did it. Oh wait. So it's nuts because you can just tell they have learned nothing from that at all. Like there's so many aspects of this game that just lead to nothing. It's like you grind and you grind and you grind. You spend hours just getting simple supplies. You know what is your reward? Nothing. You just get to be like, yay! Now I have everything. I don't understand. Like, I get it. It can be very relaxing to just sit there and mine, and finding diamonds is great. It's an awesome feeling. But there's just no reason. Like, I get it's a sandbox game, but then why have bosses and crazy powerful areas or dangerous places and stuff if you're not going to reward the player for exploring those dangerous areas? They have no reason to go to most of them. The only reason people have to go to the Nether is because that's how you get to the end of the game. It's just a means to an end. There's no like, oh, I can get some really cool stuff by going to the Nether. Like, sure, you can get Netherite, but that's it, really. Like, everything else you do not need. It's crazy. And the thing is, Netherite you can just get by doing barely exploring. You don't need to explore the Nether to get Netherite. You just fucking blow up beds. It's ridiculous. And so there's just no cohesive progression to this game, and there's no alternatives. Like, one of the coolest alternatives of the game is that you can find coal or you can make charcoal, and that's like a very neat little early game thing that you can do depending on what you find or what you don't find. And I think that's really cool despite how simple it is. I don't know. It just seems like a neat little, like, okay, so you can do this or you can do this. But for the majority of the game, you're stuck in like a normal loop. And sure, the game's randomly generated, but it feels so samey. It's one of like the least like interesting randomly generated games I've ever seen, which is crazy because you would think it would be the most interesting just because of the way it's designed, but no, it just isn't. And take, for example, anything that is actually powerful in this game, like really good potions, like enchanting books, being able to make your armor and weapons better, take so long to get. Like, insanely long. Like, it is on fucking RuneScape levels of like, I just have to hit a tree for 10 hours to get my fucking wood cutting up. It is nuts. I've never played RuneScape because that is just the shit I despise. Like, I would not be able to do that. And Minecraft gives me the exact same kind of feeling, and I've played that game extensively now. So, it just hurts me physically. It ails me. I don't. And there's so much potential. Like, you take two glimpses at the modding community and you're like, holy shit, that is so cool. Like, the things that the community have done are insane. And there's some things that people have worked on for years that are so cool. And then the devs have the audacity to give us a mob vote and just throw away two designs that just don't matter, I guess. Why? And that's the thing. The mob votes don't matter in the first place. It is just, we can vote for a dumb bird or an armadillo that change nothing about the game. Sure, you get to be like fucking Wojak meme pointing like, look at the penguin, but yeah, cool. We get to see the penguin now, but it's like, no, you don't, because that's not what got voted for. And guess what? Whatever did get voted for changes. Guess what? Nothing. Fucking nothing. Ooh, I get to make my enchanted fucking netherite sword to kill a penguin, to kill an armadillo, do nothing, give me XP. Oh, gotta make a mob farm for XP. Too bad you have to do it about 8 million times. Uh, I, I, I just, I, I can't handle that. It's so nutty to me. Like, I think the only reason this game is as popular as it is because of the modding community and the unique like maps and things that people have made. Like base game Minecraft. How many people do you like see online playing base game Minecraft? Barely any, because it's boring. There's like nothing to it anymore. Everyone has seen everything there is, and despite it being randomly generated, it just doesn't matter. Because it's still just the same. We added a new type of wood. Cool, you could make a pink house. It's like, bitch, I don't care about a fucking pink house. I get to look fucking fabulous, sure, but I don't get anything out of it. It's just now you have a pink house. Fuck you. Just, why? I'll just never understand that they want this blocky game that like realistically doesn't even look that good. Like, to be honest, they're trying to make it look so flashy, so cool, and I get that. That's really like admirable. Only if there was a game that they were putting it onto. It's essentially just a showcase. They're just showing off, like, look at how cool we can make these environments, and it's like, sure, they're really cool, but there's nothing to do in them. And that's a thing that I think like the newer God of War games did really well, which is a very like I get that is a fucking grab bag to like pull out of fucking nowhere, but I think the God of War like newer games did that so fucking well that they made their environments look sick but actually have like a game inside of it, and so it just works insanely well. Hence why most people fucking love those games, myself included. Minecraft gives me like the complete opposite vibe where it's just like, look at these cool environments, but you just don't get anything out of it. You dig up some dirt and then you're just like, sick, now I have dirt. It's like, you're a fucking loser. You're a loser. Why? Why is that like the fucking thing? It's like, we made a new type of dirt. You will love it. And for some reason, half the community does. Like, what? I don't know how people are like so brainwashed, but after this most recent mob vote, I think finally people are like, okay, we actually want to play this game because we want more game to the game that we're playing, rather than just, I would rather just watch someone like slowly walk around looking around in Minecraft as like a 10-hour like fucking ASMR video of like someone just playing Minecraft and looking around being like, oh, look at this tree, oh, look at this pyramid, sick, this is interesting, write down my scribble in my fucking notes. Like fucking it just irks me. But I don't know, I feel like this entire video I've gotten like half of my point across without even really saying anything. And if you're able to glean anything from this, I honestly commend you, because I blacked out for like the last nearly 20 minutes, to be honest. So, yeah, this is going to be a bitch and a half to edit. I'm just now realizing. So I'm going to end it before it gets even longer and long-winded, because I could keep going. I could keep talking about this and somehow add like maybe 2 extra points to it despite adding like 20 minutes of more talking. But I don't know, whatever. This game was okay, I guess, but also I fucking hate it, so bye bye.